all my struggles, grubs, my mess ups, because he's already prepared for what I might do. He knows what I'm going to do before I do it, and he already made preparation for me before I get there. What follows darkness is light. That darkness is the indicator that light is getting ready to shine. So there it is in Genesis, when darkness was upon the face of the deep, and God in the spirit form moved upon the face of the waters, and then God said, let there be. Because darkness precedes the light. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But he needs the darkness there so that God can move upon the face of the deep, so that the shift can take place. Listen, look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor that shift take place in the darkness. Oh, y'all didn't hear what I just said. Everybody's not going to see the shift that's happening. They see the chaos, but they don't see the shift. They see all the craziness going on in your life, but they don't understand that underneath the darkness, God is moving in secret. He's moving in quiet. He's moving in the hidden places. He's moving in the cracks and the corners and the crevices. He's moving in places that you cannot see. And when the light comes, they're going to see a new order. are even afraid to dream, afraid to imagine. But I'm here to tell you that you are an infinite, limitless, boundless being. Are you willing to do what is necessary to have what you desire?
Thank you for joining us. Please take a moment and like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. If you are finding value in these enrichment sessions, please consider supporting this page financially. Your donations allow us to continue to provide spiritual enlightenment, self-exploration, and kingdom knowledge. Also, consider becoming a partner because partnerships have this privilege. As a partner, you'll be able to attend our annual Partners Only Summer Summit, join us for our 6 a.m. virtual daily guided meditation sessions, weekly advanced empowerment sessions, regular prophetic insights and instructions, 30% discount on all Emerge books and merchandise, and a custom Emerge t-shirt. You'll also gain full access to the private Emerge Movement community page as well as group chats. Once again, thank you for watching.
Good morning. I forgot to take that down. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Emerge Movement and this the Emerge Empowerment Session. I'm your host, Isaac J. Miles, and I am elated that you are here with me this morning. We're going to have a really good, intense, and in-depth conversation that I know is going to positively impact your life this morning. So you really want to pay attention. Make sure that you have a pencil and paper or a pen or whatever devices that you're using in order to take notes, because you're going to want to take notes, refer back to them again and again. Mark this particular video, bookmark it so that you can return to it and listen to it again and again, so that it can feed you, it can inform you, it can remind you and equip you for the journey that you are making in this three-dimensional existence that we call Earth. Now, before we dive in this morning, I want to take a few moments and just first let me ask every single one of you that is on with me right now, do me this quick favor. One, I want you to tag this video with as many people as you possibly can. Those of you who are watching on the Facebook page, on my personal page, or the backup page, or the Emerge Facebook page, tag as many people as you possibly can. Invite them to come and be a part of this conscious conversation. Second thing that I want you to do is to make sure that you click the notification bell there on the YouTube channel, who are watching on YouTube, those watching on Facebook. Click that little notification channel, that notification bell that's there, so that every time we get ready to go live, you will be notified. You'll know we're on, and you won't miss 1 minute of the conscious conversations and the empowerment that we are giving you on this platform. The third thing that I'd like you to do is take a moment and go and visit our website. Go visit our new and improved, updated website at www.emergelec.com. That's www.emergelec.com. Now, finally, as I said to you before, my name is Isaac J. Miles, Sr. I'm your host and the spiritual director of the Emerge Movement, and I want to invite you, those of you who are watching right now, who may be watching on the replay, to consider becoming a partner with the Emerge Movement. Partnership has its privileges. You saw a number of them flashed across the screen and mentioned in the introduction, so I won't rehearse them again in your ear. And as you go visit the website, you'll see a more detailed explanation of those privileges that are offered, and we are expanding every single day, coming up with new and creative ways to positively impact your life. I want you to consider becoming a partner with the Emerge movement and gaining access to the partner portal, where we pour out information, insight, and prophetic instruction and guidance that we don't do here on this public platform. It is a worthwhile investment. It is a wonderful opportunity for you to join and become a part of a virtual spiritual community that can surround you with the kind of support, love, acceptance, non-judgmental atmosphere, and information. That's the most important part. Information that can revolutionize and revitalize your life. So I invite you to become a partner with the Emerge movement. It's very simple to do. All you have to do is just write me a letter at the email address that's on your screen right now, right under my name. And in that email, simply say the words, "I want in." 3 simple words. And I will send you out an information packet that gives you a detailed understanding and explanation of what partnership is, what it involves, what your responsibilities are, and what our responsibilities are to you. I invite you to become an Emerge partner today. All right, so let's get ready to dig into the conversation this morning. This is going to be a really in-depth and fascinating conversation. I'll go ahead and say here at the top, I'm going to deal with some concepts that might seem a little bit foreign to some of you, and that's okay. All I ask is that you keep an open mind and consider the information. That's all. I'm not asking you to accept or believe. You can do your own research. I prefer you to do the research. Read for yourself. And then if it resonates with you, if it's something that aligns with your spirit, if your spirit bears witness with this truth, then embrace it and allow it to change your life. It's important that you are taking notes and that you are prepared to be able to write little reminders to yourself so that you're able to go back to this information again and again. This is information that's going to be vital to your spiritual journey, your growth, and to your everyday living. I pride myself on giving you not just a lot of hype and hoopla and yelling and screaming and spitting bubbles and spinning around in circles, but giving you practical information and insight, revelation, and understanding that you can apply to your everyday life to bring about real, authentic, measurable change in your life, real evolutionary growth. That's what it's about. Because if you go and shout, dance, holler, spit bubbles, and jump over pews, fall out on the floor, get covered in oil, and then get up and your life has not changed, all you've done is wasted your time. And since time is the most valuable commodity that you have, I advise you to invest in those things that are going to be spiritually applicable to bring about the type of growth and development that you desire for your life. You are responsible. Listen to this very carefully. You are the only one solely responsible for your spiritual growth and development. You're responsible for your life. You are the progenitor of your destiny. You get to determine what your life and its experiences look like. You are the final say. I know, I hear some of you already saying, "No, God is the final say." That's what I said. You are the final say because you are the divine emanation of God in 3-dimensional form. You are the divine image and likeness of God. You are the vessel by which God experiences and expresses itself in the earth. So you are the voice and the determining factor of what your life and all of its experiences look like. The scripture text says, I am, that is the all of everything, and I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. That means that God is only giving you the opportunity, the might. You have a might, you might have life. You have the opportunity to experience abundant life. The only one who can determine whether you will or won't is you. If you take advantage of the opportunity, if you walk through the door, if you embrace the moment, if you step into the opportunity, then you will experience the life that you design and you desire. But you have to design the life you desire in order to experience it. We all live in the matrix of the reality that we create for ourselves. Let me say that again. We all live in the matrix of the reality that we create for ourselves. So you may as well take the authority and the power and the capacity within you to create magic. Okay? So that's what this lesson or this conversation is going to be centered around. It's an aspect of your spiritual being that allows you to begin to construct your journey as you navigate this three-dimensional existence that we call life. So today, we're going to talk about living a led life. Discerning and divining your journey. Living a led life. Discerning and divining your journey. There's a scripture text that says to lean not to your own understanding. It's speaking there in context about carnal knowledge, learned behavior. All of us are affected by learned behavior, things that we've been influenced to accept as true, but they are really simply beliefs. We've been influenced to accept them as true by our environment, our culture, our family, our religion, our traumas, our experiences. And those things then begin to now seed themselves into the soil of our conscious mind, our soul, and germinate, shooting down roots and producing fruit that reflect those beliefs. But many times what we believe is in conflict with the truth. Ooh, I don't know if you just heard what I said, but I want you to hear that. I'm going to say it again. Many times what we believe is in conflict with the truth. Just because you believe a thing doesn't make it the truth. It makes it your truth, but it doesn't make it the truth. Now, when something becomes your truth, then it sets the parameters for your world. You will never operate, function, or experience anything outside of the parameters of what you have accepted as your truth. So it is vitally important that your beliefs are grounded in the truth and not just an influenced idea that has been imposed upon you, something that you've been given because of your culture or your environment or your background or your family or the religion that you choose to practice. It's important that you are fully grounded in the truth and that your beliefs spring from those truths. Okay? So, and I don't want to go off down that road. I can. There's a whole lot more that I could talk about, those external influences that cause us to believe certain things and create these different ideas and become a truth
our truth within our own conscious mind. Okay? But what I want to focus on this morning is living a led life, being able to discern and divine your journey. Why is this so important? Because number one, the time. And for some of you, you'll be able to grasp this right away. Others of you, you may have to ponder over this for a moment. Because we are the expression of the all of everything, the divine creator, God, then we are interconnected with all of creation. And so everything that takes place in nature, in the universe, in space, in time, is interconnected and interwoven with us, as well as every other soul that exists within this three-dimensional existence. And so because of that, we are being affected by the movements that are taking place in the earth as well as in space, in the constellations. And many of you know from previous empowerment sessions that we are in a space right now where the planet Pluto has moved into the constellation of Aquarius. It will remain there in that place. And this is a powerful, powerful position for it to take. It only happens once every 200 and some odd years. So this is actually a once in a lifetime event that we are experiencing, because Pluto will sit in Aquarius through September, move out of Aquarius, and then return back to it November the 1st and remain there for the next 20 years. This is powerful. This is literally a once in a lifetime event. And we've talked in detail in other videos about what this signifies and what it means, so I won't rehearse it all here. But I will raise to your attention again that because it sits there, that this is an opportunity for extraordinary. As a matter of fact, we told you at the beginning of this year, this is a year of extraordinary moments, extraordinary opportunities, and extraordinary connections. This is the time that you will excel and accelerate through open doors while closing other doors behind you. But it is important then, and this is why this lesson is important about timing, that you are able to discern and divine the doors as they approach, the opportunities, the moments, and the connections, that you don't miss a moment, an opportunity, or a connection because you misinterpret it. And so therefore, because you're unable to discern it correctly, to divine it correctly, you assume that it is something that it is not, or you become indifferent to it and you completely ignore it and walk by it and miss an opportunity for development and growth in some or every aspect of your life. This is a time for you to be able to discern and divine your journey. You need to be able to discern and divine your journey. This involves your intuition, the intuitive knowing that you have within you as a divine expression of the all of everything. The ability to be able to divine and discern your journey, to know the path that you're taking, to move confidently through this world, to confidently navigate all of the different turns and twists and channels that will come toward you throughout the course of these next 20 years. It is imperative that you have a keen sense of discerning and divining so that you are able to accurately and confidently navigate your way. So we're going to talk a bit about your intuitive knowing, about your intuition, your discernment, your divining, your ability to be able to know even as you are known. Now, because you are, one part of your divinity is to be omniscient. That is, God knows everything. There is nothing that God does not know. There is nothing that has been, is, or ever will be that God is not completely aware of. And since you are the divine expression of God, that knowing, that knowledge is in you. Let me say that again. There is nothing that God does not know, nothing that can occur in the past, present, or future, as we call it, that God is not completely cognizant of. And because you are the divine likeness, image, and expression of that God, then all of that knowing and knowledge is in you. You already know everything. You are not consciously aware that you know, but you know. You came into this three-dimensional form. You came into this human body fully knowing, but you were taught things contrary to what you know that formulated a belief, and they became your truth. And so you have forgotten what you know, but deep within you. And this is where intuition begins to emerge. Deep within you, deep within the depths of your spirit, that divine spirit that you are, permeating up and radiating through your soul, that is your sphere or arena of thought and feeling and affection and emotions and intellect, all careening up through there is that intuitive knowing. And that knowledge expresses itself as intuition. Now, many of you have heard that term before and even had people say to you, trust your intuition, and not been fully clear exactly what they meant or what it implies, but it's basically kind of saying, but I got to trust this something that's happening in me. Some will say, well, trust your gut. What does that mean? What is your gut saying? What is your intuition saying? What is that inner voice inside of you speaking? So we're going to kind of dig in and begin to understand and define what intuition is. I want to give you a working definition right now. Are you ready? Intuition refers to the ability to understand or to know something instinctively, without the need of conscious reasoning or analysis. Let me say that again. Intuition refers to the ability to understand or to know something instinctively without the need of conscious reasoning or analysis. It often involves a sense of knowing or a feeling that arises spontaneously without apparent logical or rational explanation. Intuition can manifest as a gut feeling, a hunch, or an inner sense of certainty about a decision or a course of action. It arises from your innate divinity and the soul's subconscious processing of information and innate cognitive processes. Intuition is commonly associated with quick decision making, creativity, and problem solving, and navigating complex situations where limited information is available. While intuition is a valuable asset, it is also important to balance it with critical thinking and empirical evidence to make well-informed decisions. Overall, Intuition plays a significant role in human cognition and decision making, influencing our perceptions, our judgments, our behaviors, and all of the various aspects of our life. I'm going to give you some synonyms for the term intuitions, and some of them might rub you the wrong way, especially if you come from the Christian religion as I did. But again, I'm asking you to keep an open mind and realize that these are synonyms, which means they are synonymous with each other. So don't get hung up on semantics. Just because it's a different term for the same thing doesn't make one good and one evil. Some synonyms for intuition, of course, is instinct, foreknowledge, foresight, to get an impression of something, to be clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, prophetic, divination. Don't run from that. Hold on. Divination, psychic. Hold on to your seats. You're okay. Discerning, to have a premonition, precognition, or to be prescient or have a sixth sense about a thing. Now, I know some of those words were a little rough for some of you, but all of them are synonymous with each other. There are very small semantical differences between them, but they are all synonymous with each other. To be able to discern or divine, that is, divining is the practicing of divination. And before you run off and say, oh, that's demonic and that's the devil, and all the other kind of mythological taboos that come along with that, there are several instances of divining throughout your Bible by the biblical characters that are in your Bible are associated with that kind of practice. There are several laws, Levitical laws, that use divination or divining that as a means of arriving at a decision or a truth. Okay, and I can give you a whole list of them, but that's not my assignment this morning. If you're interested in knowing them, then you can shoot me an inbox or shoot me an email, and I'm more than happy to provide that information to you and to have that conversation with you. I will, however, raise just one example. And all of you know the story of Joseph and his brothers when they sold him into slavery, and he ends up in the pit and then in Potiphar's house and then in the prison, and then eventually rises to be the governor that sits under the king. He was the second in command. You know that in the story that eventually a famine hits the land and his brothers come in order to get grain from the kingdom. And they're unaware that the person they are talking to who has governorship over all the grain is the brother that they sold into slavery. And so Joseph then tells his servant, give them all the grain and goods that they need, but when you do so, take my divining cup. Did you hear that? Whose cup? His what cup? Joseph says, take my divining cup and put it in the grain underneath it and cover it up. Then as they get a certain distance away, I want you to go and apprehend them. And when they do exactly that, and the brothers are heading back home, here comes the king's guards running out to stop them and say, hold on, we want to search your bags. And they reach in and they pull out the silver divining cup that Joseph uses to divine. That is the practice of divination. Yes, Joseph used divination, according to the narrative that's written in your Bible. Okay. So what does it mean to divine? It means to discern. It's the same as discerning, or to intuitively know something, to be able to look into a particular thing with not your natural eye, but with your spiritual eye. Not your natural eyes, but with your spiritual eye, that allows you to see beyond and transcend the three-dimensional presentation that's in front of you and see what's taking on the other side in what we call the spirit world. Your mind, listen to me, your mind has interior levels that we all make decisions from time to time. Those interior levels include your logic, your desires, your emotions, and then finally, your intuition, your discerning, your divining, okay? That psychic ability, your clairvoyance, your prophetic understanding and sight and eye, your intuition, okay? We all make decisions from within, from one of these levels, and sometimes a combination of all of them at the same time. Your logic, your desire, your emotions, and then your intuition. If you've ever heard of telepathy, let me explain. Telepathy, and I've said this before, somebody write this in the chat for me, or who can type real fast. I'm about to say something that I want you to write down, and then I'm going to explain it. I'm going to unpack it. But write it down. Somebody get prepared to type this in the chat for me. Telepathy is the extension of consciousness into space, and intuition is the extension of consciousness into time. I'll repeat it so you can type it. Type it real fast. Put it in the comments for me. Telepathy is the extension of consciousness into space, and intuition is the extension of consciousness into time. I haven't seen anybody type it yet. Y'all real slow typists. I need somebody who's a good, quick typist to respond for me. Dee Dee's tied up this morning, so she can't be my scribe. So I need somebody who can type real fast to write that statement out. This is a profound and powerful statement that you want to put in your notes. I'm going to explain it in just a second here. I'm going to repeat it one more time. Telepathy is the extension of consciousness into space, and intuition is the extension of consciousness into time. I'm still waiting on somebody to type it and put it in the comments for me. Great day. Y'all moving really, really slow. Or maybe the comment's not popping up. Maybe it's on my end. Thank you, Theresa. There it is. There it is. Telepathy is the extension of consciousness into space, and intuition is the extension of consciousness into time. Now let me explain. Telepathy is described as the extension of consciousness into space, meaning that telepathy involves the direct transmission of thoughts and feelings and information between individuals across physical distance without the need of conventional communication channels. It implies a form of communication that transcends the spiritual and spatial, transcends the spatial limitations, allowing the individuals to connect with others regardless of physical proximity. So telepathy is an extension of our consciousness into space, transcending and moving beyond the barriers of spatial proximity. However, and this is the point for this conversation, intuition, by contrast, is an extension of our consciousness into time. This means, or this indicates, that intuition involves accessing information insight and understanding that transcends linear time constraints. It's looking into what we call the future or the past or the unseen, unknown present. It is looking into what we call the future or the past or the unseen and unknown present. Intuition allows individuals to tap into a deeper level of awareness or knowledge that may not be bound by past, present, or future temporal constraints. It suggests a heightened perception of events, patterns, and possibilities that extend beyond the immediate moment and encompass a broader temporal perspective. Intuition is that innate spiritual capacity and ability to be able to look beyond the imagined and illusionary barriers of time, of past, present, and future, and see all things that exist both and to the natural eye as well as behind the curtain, beyond the natural eyes, and seen by our spiritual eye. Intuition is the language by which the spirit communicates with our conscious mind, making us aware of the environment around us, the things that have been, are, and are to come, and making us aware of our what is our guided next moment. Overall, the statement highlights how telepathy and intuition represent different manifestations of an expanded consciousness, with telepathy focusing on spatial connections, while intuition focuses on temporal insight. In St. John, well, all throughout the narrative written by John, the beloved St. John, he refers to the Holy Spirit or the Spirit of God or the Holy Ghost. He refers to the Spirit or the essence of God as the Comforter. In the Greek, the word is the Paraclete. The Comforter or the Parakletos, which means the advocate, the counselor, the intercessor. Parakletos, the counselor, the advocate, and the intercessor. He refers to it as the Spirit or Holy Spirit, in which the Greek word is pneuma there, which means the wind or the breath or the breeze. And he calls it the spirit or wind or breath or breeze of truth. Okay? The Spirit of truth. When the Spirit of truth, is come, he uses the pronoun he, because that we know that the book is mostly a patriarchal book, so it is written from the male perspective. But we understand that the Spirit, God, is neither male nor female, but can express and experience itself as both male and female. Okay? So he says, when he that is the Spirit, the wind, the breath, the breeze of truth is come. Okay? So he refers to him as, very important that you get these terminologies. At first, as a comforter, a parakletos, okay? An advocate, a counselor, an intercessor, or a guide. And then as the Spirit of truth, the breeze, the wind, or the breath of truth. Now, you know you don't see the wind, but you feel the wind. You don't see the wind, but you see the wind's effect when trees and other things move and bend and begin to respond to the force of the wind. You can feel a breeze come across your skin. You feel the breath just coming over you, but you cannot see it. So it engages the other sensory part of you of feeling instead of sight. Thus, we walk by faith and not by sight. Okay? It engages those other sensory perceptions within you, he says. It's very important. In another place, I think it's in Proverbs, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own carnal, earthly, human understanding that has been given to you and influenced within you, but in all your ways acknowledge the all of everything, the divine, the God that lives in you, through you, and as you, and he or it will give you guidance. It will be the Parakletos. It will advocate, guide, and direct your path. Please understand, ladies and gentlemen, that God is not communicating with you from some far off cloud that sits in a distance or far above the heavens and the stars, sitting on a throne way up there with a beard, long beard, and a scepter and a crown on its head. But God lives in you. God is as close as your breath. Paul says the word, that is the, in that particular context, he's talking about the rhema. The rhema is near thee, even in thy mouth. The rhema, the logos, is in you. That is the mind of God, the thought of God, the isness and ether of God is in you, even in your mouth. It's already in you. Okay? So that intuitive knowing, that intuitive voice, the voice of God speaking, speaks from within, originating from your spirit, piercing into the soul and coming into your conscious mind, bringing illuminating light, understanding, revelation, and insight, thereby broadening and expanding the boundaries of your conscious awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, please understand that the knowing is already within you. You see, we already talked about the fact that the omniscience of God, that is what God knowing all things, is in you. So you know all things, but your intuition is the freeway. I like that one. The freeway that allows that knowing to travel from your divine spirit into the soul and thereby entering into your conscious awareness, making you aware of what you have always known. Please understand, ladies and gentlemen, that even what we call learning is really not discovering new information. Learning essentially is becoming aware of what you have always known. It is reminding you, reconstructing, reconfiguring, reconnecting with your conscious mind, in your conscious mind rather, what you have always known within you. Are you understanding what I'm saying? In another place in John, he says, howbeit when the Spirit of truth is come, it will guide you. Listen to what the text says. It will guide you into all truth. It shall not speak of itself, but but whatsoever it hears, it shall speak, and it will show you things that are to come. That's St. John chapter 16, verse 13. It says that when the Spirit of truth is come, when it emerges from within you and begins to speak, it will speak not of itself, but it will speak of the divine, omniscient God that is present in you, through you, and as you. And it will show you things that are to come. Why? Because it knows. Your spirit already knows. It knows the way that you take. It knows the path that you're on. It knows the journey that's in front of you. It knows the choices and decisions that are ahead. And it has the responsibility of giving you an indication, a conscious awareness of what is coming. That is the entirety of the job of what we call the Holy Spirit. It is to empower you with a intuitive knowing, a discerning, a divining, a knowledge and understanding of those things that are and those things that are to come. It is to give you a keen inner view of things that you do not naturally see with your eyes, but that you are able to sense within you. Are you understanding for what I'm saying? Paul makes reference to this in Romans chapter 2, verses 14 and 15. I'm going to read this one because I want you to hear what it says clearly. For when the Gentiles, and Paul is trying to draw the distinction between the Jews and the Gentiles here, and saying, that even those who you consider to be heathens, Gentiles, even the Gentiles, he says, which have not the law, and he was talking about the law of God, the law of Moses, rather, and the Levitical priesthood. He says, even the Gentiles who don't have the law do by nature the things contained in the law. These, having not the law, are a law unto themselves, which show the work of the law written in their hearts. Listen to this, their conscience also bearing witness. Their consciousness. Their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts, the meanwhile, accusing and excusing one another. Listen to what he says. He says, even the Gentiles, who we all consider to be heathens and lost, and so they don't have the law like you do, they instinctively do what is written in the law, even though they've never been introduced to it. They instinctively know and they do those things. Why? Because of the consciousness that is within them, that emerges within them, that intuitive knowing, that clairvoyance and clairaudience and clairsentience, that psychic ability within them emerges and begins to accuse and excuse. That is, say, this is acceptable, this isn't. This is for you, this isn't. This is what is meant when someone says, does that resonate with you? Or does it agree with your spirit? What is your inner consciousness or your intuition saying about it? Okay, is it accusing or excusing? Is it warning or inviting? Is it discerning it as acceptable or unacceptable? In fact, what you call is called in the Bible the discerning of spirits is literally your conscious, intuitive knowing, making you consciously aware of the atmosphere or the nature of a thing that is around you. It's not devil hunting. Good gracious, whenever you hear people talking about discerning of the spirit, oh, I can see that devil. Nonsense. The discerning of spirits is what makes you consciously aware, keenly aware, sensorily aware of the situations and circumstances, the atmosphere, or at play around you in any given situation. In the text, Paul asserts that even those who have not been exposed to the religious ideology and beliefs of the Jewish people innately know and align themselves with the all of everything, that is, with God, with the mind of God. And he states that they instinctively and intuitively are guided by their consciousness. Are you hearing what he says? That you are born with this. You enter this three-dimensional world with this intuitive knowing, this sensory perception, this prophetic and psychic ability, this clairvoyant ability to be able to discern the environment and the people and the encounters and the situations and the circumstances of your life. How many times have you made a decision from an emotional level? Remember those interior levels, logic and emotions, feeling, and then from your intuition. Okay? How many times have you made a decision from your emotional level, and then later, after getting into it, you say, something told me not to do this, or something told me it would turn out like this, or something told me this was going to be good, or something told me this was the right choice. You call it something. That something is your intuition. That is the discerning of spirits. Okay? Okay, that's your discernment. That's your intuition. That is your knowing, your sensory knowing, your psychic ability. And yes, everybody has it. Everybody doesn't have an enhanced psychic ability, but everyone has the capacity for psychic ability to operate within you, to give you a intuitive knowing within you about the world and the environment around you. There's another example of this found in the narrative written, supposedly written by Matthew, where Matthew gives this narrative, this allegory of the birth of Jesus Christ, and these wise men that come and they follow a constellation, a star, and it leads them to the place of the birth of the Savior. But as they have had their time with Jesus, and incidentally, when they finally arrive and meet Jesus, he is not in a manger, according to the narrative. He's 2 years old and living in a house, but that's a whole nother conversation. After they have had their time with him and they presented their gifts of frankincense and myrrh and so on, they are preparing to leave the next morning to journey back. And in a dream, the scriptures say, they were warned not to go back to Caesar, to the one who had asked them, when you find him, come back and tell me where he is so I can go worship him too. They were warned, don't go back there. As a matter of fact, don't even take the same path back, but go another way. So the magi, the wise men, the seers, that's what that term magi means, the wise men, the seers, okay, clairvoyants, prophets, psychics, received a psychic indication and an impartation, an imprint that said to them in dream form, don't go back the way you came, go a completely different way. And so because they listened to the sensory perception that emerged from within them, coming up through their soul into their conscious mind, this time through a dream, they took a different path and returned back home safely. How many times have you experienced that you were getting ready to do something, go somewhere, say something, and deep within you, something emerges within your conscious mind that is beyond logic and reason and says, don't say that. Don't do that. Don't go there. Mm-mm. And you go, I was about to say something, but something told me. I'll use myself as an example. I go over to the gym to work out each morning after I finish my morning meditation and then the group meditation with the partners. And as always, this morning, as soon as I finished, I grabbed my things and headed out the door to go to the gym so I could do my workout. And as soon as my foot hit the outside of my door and I closed it behind me, I heard and felt just as clear within me this instinct and vocal voice from within say, don't go. Now, because I'm accustomed to it and I recognize it as the voice of God speaking from within me, there was no equivocation, no question. I immediately turned around, came back in the house and closed the door and said, I won't be going this morning, because I knew that something was my intuition. It was the voice of God speaking within me. I don't know what going would have caused. I don't know what the outcome would have been. I don't need to know. I trust the intuitive knowing within me because it has the responsibility of leading and guiding me into all truth. That spirit, that same spirit that raised up Jesus from the dead, animates or quickens my mortal body, and it has the responsibility of leading and guiding me into all truth, to send me in the path that I should go, to direct my path, to give me a clear indicator of what path I should take. That same spirit, that same divine nature is in every single one of you that's on with me right now. You have within you, loaded and coded into your DNA, woven throughout your eternal spirit and in your soul, is that intuitive, psychic, prophetic, clairvoyant knowing and knowledge. The knowledge and the mind of God is in you, and it is constantly communicating and communing with you if you will position yourself to hear and then push aside your ego and simply obey. Okay? Because you have to be able to discern the difference between your intuitive knowing, your intuition, and your scared ego. Your scared human ego will come through as emotion. Are you hearing me? And trust me, feelings and emotions are two different things. Let me explain. What you feel is it comes out of your intuition. And people say, don't trust your feelings. No, you can trust your feelings. What you can't trust is always your interpretation of what you are feeling. Your interpretation of what you feel invokes an emotion that is a response to the feeling. The emotion is an outpicturing of a response to the feeling. And that emotion is the result of your interpretation of what you are feeling, what you are sensing, smelling, tasting, feeling in the moment. If you interpret those feelings through the lens of trauma, the lens of fear, the lens of pain, hurt, or insecurity, rejection, then it will evoke a emotion that corresponds to that particular interpretation. And so you start having that emotion that is in really diametrically opposed and in conflict with what you are actually feeling. But because you have been taught to interpret the feeling a particular way, then the emotion that corresponds to that interpretation is what rises to the surface. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? So an event takes place, a circumstance, a situation, and you have been taught by culture, environment, experiences, and family, and so forth, that this event should piss you off and make you mad. Don't let nobody talk to you like that. Don't let nobody treat you like that. Don't let nobody handle you like that. Oh, they trying to, play you close. Oh, they sizing you up. Don't do it. And so, because you interpret it as such, then the emotion that corresponds to that now takes over, and you begin to emote that emotion. And so you go to anger or defensiveness or, or fear. Are you hearing what I'm saying? All because of how you interpreted the events that were in front of you and the feeling that emerged within you. But when you shift your perception, Wayne Dyer says, if you change your perception of a thing, then the thing you perceive will change, because everything that you see is filtered through how you perceive it. And if you perceive it from the knowledge, the knowing that everything is for me and nothing is against me, if God, or since God is for me, then who can be against me? That all things are working together synergistically for good, because I am the beloved of God and the called according to its purpose. If I see every event through that lens, then my response, my emotional response now changes. Because I have interpreted it correctly, I get an emotion that corresponds to the correct interpretation, and I find myself emoting or acting and behaving in a manner that invites the lesson or the opportunity that this event has come to bring me. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying to you? I know I'm giving you a lot of information, and that's why I'm leaving the video up. So that's why I said I want you to go back and listen to it again and again and again. Okay? So, and I've already been on here way longer, 10 minutes longer than what I intended. We try to do this within an hour. I'm going to go deeper into this in the partner portal with the partners. So, if you're not a partner, man, I would encourage you to hurry up and become a partner, because I'm going to really go a lot deeper in the partner portal with those who are partners with the Emerge movement. I'm going to do that later today. Yes, partners, I know it's not our usual Wednesday diving deep, but I just really feel an urgency and a sense to take you a little bit deeper and further into this understanding of intuition and discerning and divining. And so I'm going to have that conversation with you later today, probably around about 6 p.m., probably somewhere around there, around about 6:30. Okay, so if you want to be a part of that conversation, I invite you to partner with the Emerge movement. I promise you it gets a lot deeper. But let me try and conclude what we're talking about here. So let me give you some simple ways that your intuition works. Well, before I do that, let me say this. Your intuition is one of the ways the voice of God expresses itself through the soul. Your intuition is one of the ways there are, and you have intuitive dreams, as well as intuitive visions, as well as intuitive sensory experiences. Okay, your intuition is one of the ways that the voice of God, without using words, which a lot of the time are the lowest forms of communication, because words are just a way to try and explain and articulate what you are feeling, what you are sensing. That's all they are. Words are just paintbrushes. That's a good way of putting it. Words are just paintbrushes, a way to paint a picture or to articulate what you are sensing and you are feeling. Okay? But most often, the Spirit uses intuition, that sensory, that feeling, those visions, those dreams, those sensory indicators to give you guidance and direction. Intuition is expressed through feelings. Feelings are the way intuition is interpreted into the language of consciousness. Let me say that again. Feelings are the way intuition is interpreted into the language of consciousness. Okay? Feelings are the way that intuition is interpreted into the language of consciousness, or of the conscious mind, a language that the conscious mind can comprehend. The interpretation of those feelings then invokes then a corresponding emotion. We talked about that. It's imperative that you distinguish between feelings and emotions that are emanating from your spirit or from the scared ego. We talked about that. Because the intuition that emanates from the spirit, that has its genesis or its beginning, its origin from the divine spirit within you. Listen to this. This is a bold statement, but it is an absolute truth. Is always 100% of the time right. Let me say that again. Let me say it again. The intuitive knowing, the intuition that emanates and has its genesis, its origin from your divine spirit within you, is always 100% of the time correct. It is always right, because it comes from the omniscient divine God that lives in you, through you, and as you. It is the knowing, even as you are known, emerging within you and penetrating your conscious mind. So that's why it's so important. It is so important that you began to do the necessary work to remove the scared ego, to suppress and deaden that thing, so that you are able to clearly hear and receive and interpret the intuitive sensory expressions or feelings that emerge within you, that you're able to correctly interpret them and invoke the correct emotional response, because that intuition is 100% right. And the way that you are able to discern between the two is by putting in the necessary work to integrate your shadow self with your light or enlightened self. You have to do the work. I wish I could just give it to you, pour it in you, slap hands on your head and say, Ikanda Rabba Shanda, and it was done. Doesn't work that way. You have to do the necessary interior work to integrate those two dualities within you so that you can eliminate the traumas. You can eliminate and you can transmute all of that dark energy, dark matter that exists into a form that assimilates and harmoniously aligns with your enlightened self. That's why you need a good life coach, a good counselor, a good mentor, good spiritual director or leader that can help you and assist you in walking that path and being able to integrate those pieces of yourself. Because it's hard. It's not impossible, but it's extremely difficult to try and do it on your own. You can try, and it's not impossible, but it is much easier facilitated by having someone who is skilled and objective to be able to guide you through the process. Okay, so let me just finish by giving you some ways that intuition works. And I offer that kind of coaching and guidance freely to anyone on the platform. Of course, partners have access, but others of you as well. I'm going to actually announce something at the end of this particular broadcast about that particular thing to you. So just hold on just a second. Here are some ways that intuition works. You get a deep, abiding, peaceful confidence despite the visible sign. Your intuition will work in a way that you're making a choice or a decision to take a path or a journey that despite the physical signs that say, this might not be the best thing, or this doesn't seem easy, or this might not be good, you get this inner peace, abiding peace about the choice that says, yes, it is. This is for you. It resonates with you. You feel that witness of peace and tranquility, peace of mind about making the choice, even though you don't have any visible sign in front of you that says it's the right choice. You can sense and feel it within your chest, in your gut, in your belly, that this is the right choice. It is also, just on the opposite side, a sense of dread, a sinking feeling in your stomach that something's not quite right. Something's not good. Have you ever come across a situation, a circumstance, or even a person? You just met them, you don't know them from Adam, but you know them. And something within you says, no, something about them. I can't illuminate what, I can't give you details, but something in me is saying this person is not right for me. It doesn't make them not right. It don't mean that they are terrible or evil. Just simply that they don't align harmoniously with your vibrational frequency, with your spirit. They don't connect. And it's like, no, they haven't done anything. They haven't said anything. They haven't behaved in any kind of way. But there is just this knowing within me, this sense of dread, this sinking feeling that this person is not for me, or this situation's not for me, or this circumstance, or this event, or this decision, that I need to stay away, that I need to move away, that I need to push that away. Okay? Number 3, you get a hyper awareness, like you can feel, see, hear, smell, taste, and sense everything around you. Have you ever just walked into a space or been standing in a space? Maybe you were already there, but then all of a sudden, you just get this hyper awareness that just clicks on. And it's like you can hear everything. You can see everything. You notice the smallest, most minute thing. You can sense and taste and feel almost everything that's occurring around you. Like the character Spider-Man used to say, my spidey senses are tingling. You ever get that sensation where you become hyper aware of everything that's happening around you? That's an indicator that your intuition is at work and it's trying to deliver a message to you. Number 4 are synchronicities. Most of you are familiar with synchronicities, where you began to see and notice a pattern of numbers and words and events that keep happening, and opportunities, numbers, words, events, opportunities that just like keep occurring over and over and over, and you keep seeing this number, whether it's 222, 444, 11133, 22, 77, 88, 999, or you keep having these same words keep occurring over and over and over and over and over. The same event, and sometimes you call it deja vu, like I've been here before, I've done this before, I've experienced this before, and I can tell you what's getting ready to happen next. I can feel that I've been in this place and space before. Okay? Events or circumstances or encounters, and you immediately see the synchronicities within it. It just continues to occur. Okay. Number 5, that you have a spontaneous thought being pulled up in a certain direction, that's being pulled up inside of you, and it pulls you in a certain direction or toward a certain event, or you find yourself just spontaneously thinking about this particular person. We like to say, you've just been heavy on my mind. I don't know why. It's just, you've been heavy on my mind. You've just been invading my thoughts. That is your intuition kicking in, and again, trying to communicate something to you, to your conscious mind. Just out of nowhere, you're busy doing something, not even thinking about this, that, or the other, or that person. And then spontaneously out of nowhere, you get this rush of thought about that particular thing, place, space, or person, and it won't leave your mind. That is your intuition kicking in. And the thing that you should do is stop in that moment and just allow that thought to just marinate within your mind and open yourself to hear what the Spirit is trying to communicate to you concerning the person, place, or thing. Number 6, all of a sudden you feel spontaneously inspired to do something. People who are creative, extremely creative, know what this is like, whether it's in the music field or the writing field or whatever. You just feel this inspiration to start baking or cooking or writing or composing or creating or crafting and putting together. Just you're inspired to do. That is your intuition kicking in. That is the intuition, your spirit communicating through the soul into the conscious mind, giving you that kick, that ignitement, that explosion, that surge of energy to do or to say or to create. Okay? Number 7, you get a vivid, lucid dreams. Open, lucid dreams are the Spirit's way of communicating with the soul's conscious mind when the mind may be so busy and cluttered with the day-to-day affairs of life that it's unable to see, hear, or even comprehend what the Spirit is saying. And so when you are unconscious, asleep, then your intuitive knowing, that spirit then begins to take on the form of a dream and give you the information that you weren't able to receive during your waking hours. Likewise, our visions, that you have a vision that takes you in a trance-like state, transcending this three-dimensional the boundaries of this three-dimensional world and existence, this plane of consciousness, making you aware of other events, people, places, and things that are beyond this dimension and in other dimensions, revealing both what we call past, present, and future. Okay, unconscious present, unaware of presence, things that are taking place in and around you that you may not be consciously aware of, and yet vision gives you a conscious awareness of it. Most times employing symbols and signs that you can easily interpret and understand what the Spirit is trying to communicate to you. Okay? All right, so I know I have dissimulated a great deal of information this morning. We've already been on an hour and a half. I'm like 27, 28 minutes over, almost 30 minutes over what I intended to go, and I have still not gone as deep as I can. I promise you there's more, but I'm going to share and save and share that with the partners later on tonight. If you're not a partner, you need to go ahead and send me a letter, an email to the email address you see on the screen, and become a partner today. Just simply say, I want in. I'll send you the information packet, read through it, review it, sign the partnership agreement, and send it back along with your partner fee, and you will be a partner immediately, and you'll get immediate access to the partner portal where we'll be having this deeper conversation later on tonight. Now, I mentioned earlier that it is imperative that you do the work that is necessary in order to integrate the duality that exists in all of us, our shadow self as well as our enlightened self, that you work your way through the gunk and the junk and some of the traumas that exist, and be able to integrate those, to distill them down to their purest form, and then integrate them together so that you can have a clarity about your life and a clarity about your ability to be able to comprehend and hear as the intuitive voice of God speaks from within. And that is all. It is possible to do it on your own, but it's extremely challenging and difficult. And it is best facilitated by having someone who can help you with that integration, an objective, spiritually astute person who can help you to navigate that journey of doing that integration. I want you to know that I am now offering one-on-one coaching sessions. Please listen to what I just said. One-on-one coaching, not counseling, and there is a difference. Okay? Not counseling, but one-on-one coaching sessions that you can get a la carte. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to, become a partner to get it. You don't have to sign up for a series of coaching or a month or 6 months or whatever months of or a year of coaching, but just a la carte. If you find yourself in a difficult situation or circumstance, something that's challenging, and you could use some guidance, some coaching, someone to help you to objectively see and understand and give you some direction. If you're needing someone to give you some coaching in the area of integrating both your shadow self with your enlightened self, or in any other area of your life, whether it is in financial coaching, spiritual coaching, physical coaching, emotional coaching, whatever aspect, I am making myself available for you to be able to engage with me in life coaching a la carte, okay, at any time, by simply setting up an appointment. There is a fee involved, yes, indeed. I've learned my value. Amen. Okay. And for the fee of $100 for an hour, I will give you the coaching, provide you with the coaching that you need over that particular issue, subject matter, or whatever it is that you need. We'll set up a Zoom call, or we can just do it by phone, whichever you prefer. Some people don't want to be seen in a Zoom call. Some others prefer to have a face-to-face in a Zoom. That's fine. But for the fee of $100, then I will provide you one-on-one life coaching a la carte for $100 per hour. And you normally shouldn't need more than an hour, but if you want more than an hour, certainly I'm available for that. All you simply need to do is to email and request it, request an appointment, and I or someone will get in contact with you expeditiously to schedule your appointment, and then just show up and be there ready for the appointment. If it is by Zoom, I'll send you a link to the Zoom meeting, and you'll be able to click on, and I'll meet you there. If it is by phone, then I will send you a number that you'll be able to call and connect with me on that particular number. And you'll be able to receive one-on-one coaching from me on whatever the subject matter is. It is available to you. So I wanted to make that announcement to those of you who are watching on this platform. Even if you're not a partner, you can access this one-on-one coaching with me for the fee of $100 per hour. And yes, Emerge partners, you get that 30% discount. So for you, it's $70 an hour. Partnership has its privileges. Okay? So for the Emerge partners, they get a 30% discount. And so for them, it's $70 an hour. For the general public, it's $100 an hour. All right? Okay. I want to give you an opportunity to worship before we get off the air. We know that the purest form of worship, the highest form of worship, is giving. You've received a lot of really great, impactful, profound, and insightful information this morning. I know that it has revolutionized your thinking, and it will permanently, positively impact your life. In return or in exchange, it is right for you to worship the all of everything by giving and sowing into this platform, and me as the mouth and the vessel through which this information has flowed. So I want to give you the opportunity to flow. I want you to give you the opportunity to flow and to give. And I felt impressed this morning to do this. I'm not exactly sure why, but I follow the intuitive direction and guidance of the Spirit of God that is within me. So you can sow your seed and give your offering, your sacrifice at whatever level or amount that you decide to give. Whatever level or amount that you decide to give. But for those of you who will sow a seed of at least $25, when you sow your seed, I want you to provide me with your mailing address as well as your shirt size. And I'm going to send you a free t-shirt. Absolutely free. I meant to put together a picture of the t-shirt, but I didn't, and so I could put it on screen. It's not the Emerge t-shirt. That is strictly for the partners, and they get that for free. Okay. But for those of you who give $25 today, um, then I'm going to send you a spiritually enlightened t-shirt that says, "Everything I do prospers. Everything I do prospers." Okay? You'll be able to get that t-shirt for free. For those of you who will give at least $25, and then go into my inbox or by email, send me your size as well as your mailing address, and I will send you a free t-shirt with emboldened on the front, "Everything I do prospers." Y'all hold on a minute. Let me try and get a picture of the shirt up on the screen. Glad day. I really meant to have it up there so that you'd be able to see what the shirt looks like. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Don't go nowhere. Give me a minute. I'm going to put it on the screen for you in just a minute. Oh, now the computer wants to run slow. No, it's not. It's going to run like it's supposed to. Y'all hang on. Don't go nowhere. I'm just looking for the t-shirt. I know I got it in here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, here's one real quick. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right, I'm getting ready to put it on screen right now. Let's do it like this. That's the shirt. I know it's right there in front of my face, but I didn't have time to shape it and put it to the side like it ought to be. So I'm just putting it on. For those of you who will give at least $25 today, and then email me your address and your shirt size, I will send you this shirt. "Everything I do prospers. Everything I do prospers." I'll send it out to you absolutely free. It is my gift to you for sowing into this ministry and supporting the work that we do. So for each of you that do so, at least $25, but you don't have to stop there. You can give at whatever level or amount that you decide. I'm going to send you that postpaid to your address absolutely free. It is my gift to you for supporting this platform. All right, so let's go ahead and worship through our giving. Here are the means by which you can worship and you can sow your seed. As always, you can use our Cashapp, which is $emergelec, our Zelle, which is emerge.life@gmail.com, our PayPal, which is paypalme.me/emergelec. Whichever method that you choose to use, sow your seed today. And those of you who are partners, you know what we're doing. You already know the energy that we are operating in. So make sure that you do that. And partners, if even for you, if you sow your seed, which we don't do less than a certain amount. So, but if your seed exceeds the $25, I'm going to send you the shirt as well. And you already have your addresses, so you can expect it to come to you postpaid in the mail. But for everyone else, if your seed, your gift exceeds $25, then I will send it out to you. But you have to send me an email with your shirt size and your mailing address. Don't forget that. And I will send it out today. And you should receive it within 7 to 10 days. Okay? It will head out today and you should receive it within 7 to 10 days. Go ahead and sow your seeds right now. Do it now before you forget about it, before we close out. Go ahead and open up your device and send your seed, whatever that amount is going to be. Sow and worship into this, worship God and sow into this platform, and show your appreciation for what you've received today. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in and being a part of this conscious conversation. I look forward to seeing you again next week at 9 a.m. here in the Emerge. I don't know where I get 9 a.m. That's just terrible. Anyway, at 9 a.m. here on the Emerge platform in the Emerge Empowerment. Good Lord, what is going on with me? The Emerge Empowerment Session. Yeah, I need to go. Bye, y'all.
Some of you are even afraid to dream, afraid to imagine. But I'm here to tell you that you are an infinite, limitless, boundless being. Are you willing to do what is necessary to have what you desire?
You've been listening to Apostle Isaac Miles, the disruptive innovator, a mentor, an author, a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, and the founder and spiritual director at emergelec Life Enrichment Center. Please take a minute to subscribe, like, and share this page. If you'd like to become a partner, you can do so by emailing us at emerge.lifecenter@gmail.com. Again, that's emerge.lifecenter@gmail.com. Once again, thank you for watching.